Hey everyone! Today's aviation news is packed with excitement. Qantas Link is now soaring to Tasmania with their sleek new Airbus A220s, a big leap in their fleet modernization. Cebu Pacific is gearing up for major expansion, planning to add up to 152 brand new Airbus A320neo family jets. And in a shocking twist, new Pacific Airlines CEO Rob McKinney has abruptly stepped down. Curious to find out more? Stay tuned, you won't want to miss it. The next generation Airbus, A220 from Qantas Group, arrived in Tasmania for the first time. Qantas also said it would spend money on a new lounge at Hobart Airport. The first flight from Melbourne to Hobart on an A220 arrived today, and the Flying Kangaroo also announced plans for a brand new Qantas club at Hobart Airport. The flight was carried out by a Qantas Link A220 plane named Minima Kutjara Chukurpa. This plane has artwork on it by top Pitjanchachara artist Marinka Baker that shows the dreaming story of two sisters who travel across remote Australia together and have to travel long distances to get home.
On arrival to the airport, you'll have your temperature checked and you'll need to scan the QR code that you're given with approval to enter Tasmania. Because of Tasmania's strict biosecurity laws, you might also be greeted by a beagle on arrival who'll be checking to make sure you don't have any fruits or vegetables. Here's a quick look at the airport. You can catch the Skybus into town. It operates every 40 minutes and takes about 25 minutes to get.
As part of Qantas Link's plan to replace its long-serving Boeing 717 fleet with a 220S, the latter will gradually take over between Melbourne and Hobart on up to 26 trips per week. From November 12, 2024, the A220 will also start running on the line between Melbourne and Launceston. This new breed of planes uses a lot less fuel than the old ones. The cabin is very modern and light and bright, with big windows and overhead storage. The A220 makes traveling more comfortable by providing fast, free Wi-Fi, carefully designed seats, and a greater sense of space. Jetstar and Qantas have also made a new long-term deal with Hobart Airport. As part of this deal, Qantas will spend money on a new lounge. The new Qantas Club, which should open in 2027, will have almost twice as many seats as the present one and will feature food from Tasmania. Check out this clip from Hobart Airport's official Facebook page. Parker, the CEO of Qantas, spoke from Hobart Airport and said that the new planes and lounge would make traveling a lot better for tens of thousands of tourists and locals every year. Customers have said great things about the A220, and Parker said, "We're really excited to be bringing it to Tasmania for the first time. Tassie is the place where ecotourism began, and there's no better place for us to fly our A220 planes, which make 25% less noise and 50% less pollution per seat than the planes they replace. Because they are small and cheap, they work well on many of our Tasmanian routes, and this is just the beginning. As we get more new planes in the next few months and years, we'll keep adding 220 flights. We're also working closely with Hobart Airport on plans for a new Qantas Club lounge that will make the experience of traveling before a flight better for our customers. When it's done, our customers will be able to enjoy almost twice as much space and a bigger range of local goods." Moving on to the next story, low-cost airline Cebu Pacific Air, based in the Philippines, has signed a preliminary and legally binding deal to buy up to 152 Airbus A320neo family planes, such as the A320neo and A321neo. The airline told the Philippine Stock Exchange PSE about the news on July 2, 2024.
Cebu Pacific Air, a Philippines-based low-cost carrier, has signed a preliminary agreement to order up to 152 Airbus A320neo family aircraft, including the A320neo and A321neo. The airline disclosed the news in a Philippine Stock Exchange filing on July 2, 2024. It's yet another big win for Airbus as the plane maker's backlog grows.
The airline filed to say that it has a legally binding Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with Airbus to buy up to 152 Airbus A320neo and A321neo planes. The deal was worth $24 billion. PHP won $4 trillion based on list prices, which are just estimates and don't show how much companies actually pay for planes. At the same time, Cebu Pacific Air has placed 102 firm orders for the A321neo and 50 choices for the A320neo. The Pratt & Whitney PW 1100G engine, which is also called the Geared Turbofan GTF, will power the plane.
Binding Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, to buy up to 152 A320neo and A321neo aircraft in a deal valued at $24 billion at list prices. Of course, such prices are symbolic, with the real prices that airlines pay often being lower in the case of large orders. Nevertheless, Cebu Pacific Air's order includes 102 firm orders for the A321neo and 50 options for the A320neo.
The low-cost carrier picked the GTF, even though it was having problems with the engine because of a problem with the way it was made. The powder metal used to make some engine parts had a rare condition that made operators have to speed up the process of taking them apart and inspecting them. Most Airbus A320neo family operators who picked the PW 1100G have been affected by this, and Cebu Pacific Air was no different. Cirium, an aviation analytics business, says that the Philippine carrier's weekly departures with the A320neo and A321neo could grow by 14.7% year over year, Eqology in July. Its weekly departures for the month, excluding those two types of aircraft, are expected to grow by 3.6%. However, its weekly capacity, which is measured in available seat kilometers, ASK, will drop by 4.1% in July when only A320neo and A321neo trips are counted. Its weekly ASKs for XA320neo and A321neo are expected to rise by 5.6% during the same month. Cebu Pacific said it planned to finish the deal in Q3, which would be around the same time as the upcoming Farnborough International Air Show. The airline has already signed the legally binding Memorandum of Understanding. Reports from earlier this year said that the order might be made public at the industry event, which takes place from July 22nd, at the time of writing script for this video, to July 26th. Even so, Michael Sukes, Cebu Pacific's CEO, said that the possible order was meant to give Cebu Pacific the most freedom to change its fleet growth based on market conditions by letting it choose between the A321neo and A320neo planes. When it's done, the deal will be a big step forward for the Philippine airline business and a sign of how committed Cebu Pacific Airs is to helping the country grow.
Michael Such, the CEO of Cebu Pacific, said that the potential order was designed to provide Cebu Pacific with the maximum flexibility to adapt its fleet growth to market conditions, with the ability to switch between the A321neo and A320neo aircraft.
In 2024, Cebu Pacific made several public statements reiterating its plan to switch to an all-Airbus Neo fleet by 2028. As per Chi-H Aviation records, this includes replacing its 19 A320 CEO planes, 7 A321 CEO planes, and 2 A330-300 AS that are not in use. The newest planes are Airbus NEOs, which use 15% less fuel per flight than planes from the previous version. When planes use less fuel, they release less carbon into the air. The Philippine carrier has 68 planes in its fleet, including 26 A320 CEO family planes. Cebgo, its regional company, on the other hand, runs an all-ATR turboprop fleet that includes the ATR 72, 500, and ATR 72, 600. Even though Airbus A320 and Neo family planes have been grounded, Cebu Pacific Air is still going to stick with the maker and order more planes. Moving on to the last story of this video, Rob McKinney, who was CEO of Alaskan small airline Ravin Alaska and struggling startup carrier New Pacific Airways, has quit the group right away. On July 1st, a representative for McKinney said that the split was because he does not share the forward vision of the ownership and chairman. McKinney says, "It has been an amazing journey to be a part of Ravin's comeback from bankruptcy and to have the rare chance to launch America's newest Part 121 airline. Our partnership with Boeing and work with other amazing people and businesses around the world made our vision come true. But sometimes you just don't agree with each other. It took him a while to get back to me and explain what the differences were. McKinney started New Pacific Airways, which was called Northern Pacific Airways at the time, in 2023. Its first goal was to connect Anchorage to important cities in Asia and the lower 48 states. He wanted to do the same thing in the Pacific Ocean as Icelandair does in the Atlantic from its home base in Reykjavik. The Icelandic airline has been using its island base, which is halfway between North America and Europe, for many years to offer cheap flights between the countries, with the option of making stops along the way. That plan never came together, but in July 2023, New Pacific started flying a small fleet of Boeing 757s between Ontario International Airport in the LA area and Las Vegas. Ontario International Airport is about 58 miles, 93 kilometers, northeast of Los Angeles International, which is the region's main airport. Later, it started flying from Ontario to Reno and Nashville. The company stopped all 3 lines in the first 3 months of this year and switched to charter services. All of New Pacific is owned by Float Alaska, which bought Raven Alaska out of bankruptcy in 2021 and turned it into another regional carrier. Cirium Fleet says that New Pacific has 3 Boeing 757-200s in its fleet. 2 of them are listed as being in use, while the third is currently being stored. There is still a listing for McKinney as CEO on the New Pacific Airways website. The airline didn't answer 2 requests for more details. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon.